Welcome to our video on the introduction to coding using the Arduino. This is video number 4 in our series, and if you have not seen the 3 previous videos, you can click on the links below and you will be taken to those videos and you can have a look at what we spoke about previously. In the previous videos, we looked at what an Arduino is, and we looked at some of the components that we can use to communicate with the Arduino. And we had a circuit that we started out on. And on this circuit, we have an Arduino and we have a breadboard. And on the breadboard, we connected 3 LEDs, a red, a yellow, and a green LED. We also connected 3 resistors with those LEDs, and we connected these LEDs via jumper cables to the Arduino. Then we started the simulation after writing the code, and this is the result that we got. The green light goes on, the yellow it goes off, yellow light goes on and off, and then the red one does the same thing, and the circuit basically does the whole thing over and over again. Then I want us to look at some errors that we can encounter when we are using the Arduino. If you look at our code, for instance, you will see that every end of the line has a semicolon. It is very important that you have those semicolons because those semicolons tell the Arduino that you have reached the end of this line of code. You can go to the next line of code and execute that code. So it will read here, and then it knows this is only one line. It comes to this one and it reads and it's finished with that one. And so what happens if we forget to put a semicolon and we try to start our simulation? You will see that it will give us an error, and the error says there's an error in void setup. It tells us to come to void setup, and the error is that it is expecting a semicolon before pin mode. So before this pin mode, it says it's expecting a semicolon. So we can then come and fix that and put the semicolon back there. And there are also times when maybe you forget to spell things the way that they are spelled. Let's say, for instance, you wrote write as write or writ. You wrote it like this, and you try and start your simulation. It will also then lead you to that error and tell you that the error is in digital writ. It was not declared in the scope, so which means that it does not understand what you have written. And the other error that we can encounter is that you can see this digital write is small letter digital, and then the first letter in write is a capital W. This is called camel casing in coding. You can see it looks like a camel's hunch, so it's called camel casing. So usually the words or the key words that are in the Arduino, such as pin mode, you will see that it's 2 words, but the second word will always start with a capital letter. And so if we say that digital write, and let's say we remove the W and make it a small letter and try to start the simulation, you see in function void loop, it says digital write was not declared in the scope. Once again, it does not recognize what this is, and we write it again back. You will then see that our code will run or will execute again. Okay, so we've looked at when you forget to put a semicolon, what happens, and we also looked at if you make a mistake with the spelling, also what it is that happens. And we saw that it will throw errors, but it will tell you exactly where those errors are so that you can go and fix them. And finally, in this video, we are going to look at what happens, let's say, when you don't know how to spell yet. let's say you are 5 years old and you want to learn, but your spelling is not so good yet. So how do you do that now? So if you look here, just below code, you will see it says text there, right? You can also use blocks and text, and you will then see that it will now have these blocks here. It will have also this section of code here, and it will have the code that is text on this side. So you can then use this as your code. You can drag and drop things this side. You will see that as you drag and drop blocks from here to here, that it changes the code also on this side. And when you are done with the code, when you don't want that code anymore, you can just come and drag it on back to where you found it. So what we are going to do is to try and redo this code, but we are going to use blocks now instead of the text. So let's open code. The first thing we want to do is pin mode. We want to prepare our pins so that our Arduino knows how each pin is going to behave. So we will come to set pin. So set pin, set this pin, these pins from 0 to 13. So set them, set pin, let's say pin 11, because that's where the first one is. So set it to high, which means switch the LED on, and you will see that it does the code for us there. Then when we've put it on, then we come and say wait for 1 second. Then it's going to wait for 1 second. You can see that it delays for 1000 milliseconds. When it's delayed, then we want to do another digital write, or equivalent of digital write. So set pin 11 again to low this time. Okay, then we also wait 1 second. We also set pin 12 to high. Again, we wait 1 second. We set pin 13 to high. We wait 1 second. We then again set pin 13 to low. We wait another second, finally. 1 second. And that is our code. And as you can see that this code, it looks exactly like the one that we had before. But we are not setting pin mode 0, but it won't affect our code. So what we can do now is to start the simulation and see what happens. Can you see that it's also working this way? But now, what happens is that this one comes on, and this doesn't go off. This doesn't go off as well. So let's look at our code. Set pin to high, low, high. Okay, then it's supposed to be low. So high, low, high, low. Okay, I see what happened. So 11, 12, this is supposed to be 12. Then 13. If you saw that mistake, well done on spotting that mistake. I'm proud of you. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now can you see it remove that pin 0? That I saw that pin 0, but I didn't look. Now let's start again. So it comes on, off, on, off, on, and off, on, off, on, off, on, and off. We have come to the end of today's video. What I want you to do is to remove all the LEDs and remove all the jumper cables and restart your circuit. And code your circuit. If you feel you will be comfortable this way, you can do it this way. If you feel that you will be comfortable in writing the code by hand, you can also do it that way. But yeah, give it a try, restart your circuit and redo your code. You can write in the comments section how that experience was, and I will look forward to reading your comments. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, subscribe and you will be notified whenever I have a new video. Thank you.